Well, hello, good evening, everyone. We are live once again. This week we're live on a Tuesday, not so much a Thursday, because I believe this Thursday is Thanksgiving, in which the market will not obviously be open. Let me check my levels are okay before we jump into the meat and potatoes of this live stream. We seem to be pretty good at the moment. Camera works, that's a good sign. What I wanted to do is stick on some music for the background. What should we go for today? What's dance pop like? God, no, not that. That'll do. But you shouldn't really be able to hear it that much anyway. More just to fill the silence, I guess. Welcome once again to another live trading stream. There's a few things going on the charts, but unfortunately the normal strategy of power hour breakout report might be tricky today, but we'll definitely take a look at it. But yeah, welcome. Make sure you like and follow if you're following on or watching on X. Trying to get to 5,000 followers before the end of the year. It doesn't really mean anything, but it would be nice to get to. Of course, nice round number. And of course, if you are on YouTube as well, make sure you like and subscribe. I do one of these pretty much every week. And obviously release trading evergreen videos as well, which will help you along your trading journey. I'm going to be switching out my streaming platform in the next couple of weeks as well, which will be quite exciting. I currently use StreamYard, but I think I prefer Restream. Just a little bit easier to maneuver, a few more features on there as well, which is, always nice to have to kind of switch it up, change things up a little bit. Yeah, looking forward to it. It'll be fun. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I wonder what you're trading at the moment. Before we jump into the stream, make sure you stick in the comments what you're trading at the moment. What are you excited to have a look at? There's quite a few names out there at the moment which are kind of at tricky spots. Maybe we'll have a look at that a little bit later on. But first of all, let's jump into the Edgefor side of things. Obviously, there is a link down below in YouTube description for Edgefor platform. We will just kind of do the normal moving around the platform itself and kind of using it to grab data. But first, I need to pop up. I need to pop something up here. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I mean, today's been quite a green day. It's the same as yesterday, actually. And we will have a look at that in a second. But first, we'll set up the Edgefor stream. You can see on the screen there, the bias is very much to the green side. As we just mentioned, 75% bullish. 6 out of 8 of my assets down here are, well, I don't know where the assets are, but they've gone 6 out of 8 looking pretty green. But what we want to do is, because I trade power hour breakout, stick out on power hour breakout here in the top right hand corner with the bookmarks, and then we'll just go to SPY to start off with. And we can see this is the data in the last 6 months. As you can see on the left side there, we'll get rid of that taskbar. So all the data within the last 6 months. This is just a standard report, but what you can do is you go to choose sub report, select by the weekday, and then that will select all the Tuesdays in the last 6 months. And you can see the stats here actually not as low as they normally are. Normally these stats, if you've been on these streams before, normally these stats were around about 20%, 20-25% on these lower sections here, but this one's actually 38% new high of day made. Now we've already made that high. You can see that data here, high of day broken, yes. And now let me just show you that on the chart as well. So this is the SPY, don't forget. We'll jump up here to US 500, which is the SPY. You can see the previous highs of day with this blue line here. Let me just get rid of a few indicators. So the high of day that we've experienced is here, actually the 5-minute candles. So in the low of day will be all the way down here. So you can see that the higher day has been broken, therefore that data is pretty much redundant to us if we're trading the power hour breakout report. So what I normally do around about 1:45 8 here in the UK, but it'd be 3:45, I think, where you are on the Eastern Coast. I will basically go through assets I have here on the right side. So I've got the US 500, US 100, and then I'll go through the bigger stocks, kind of Apple, Amazon. So you can see Apple. Oh, I've just had dinner. I don't think it's kind of settled properly. You can see Apple here kind of trading in between the two lines, which is no good. We kind of want price action to be kind of near one or the other. Amazon trading near the highs. So there could be potential short percentage there. Where is my volume profile? Oh, it's loading. There we go. Volume profile obviously plays a big part in it as well. I've recently upgraded my trading view, so I've got way more indicators that I can use. I try not to use too many, but it's always nice to have a nice range. Anyway, we're getting a bit sidetracked. Amazon, you can see here, kind of trading near the highs, so this could be a potential trade. Obviously, you've got some resistance here as well, set earlier on in the day, and of course, just as we entered the last hour as well there. So a little bit of a potential trade there. You can also see maybe a shorter term trend line, but we are kind of breaking out of that, so that's a negative for us. Because of course, if we are trading, trading around the kind of highs of the day, we want to go opposite. We want to go short, so then we have our stop loss up here. And let's move on to Google in the middle of the two bars, so no point. Meta has already broken the high of day, so no point. Move on to Microsoft. Again, we have broken, I was doing a little bit before we came on. We have broken the high of day, so no point. Nvidia, I think we've broken as well, yeah. Interesting price action actually on Nvidia the last couple of days. Considering the market's gone up, Nvidia's actually gone down. Tesla coming towards the high of day, so it could be interesting to trade potentially. Lots of volume profile here. This could be an interesting spot to get in potentially. But then you have to do a little bit of digging, so short position. I'm not going to place it, but just hypothetically there. So you'd be losing. Why has it got 3 percentage points? 0.6%, but I don't know why it's got 3 decimals. Must be part of this, right? How strange. I don't know why that's got 0.600%. And of course, you would be doing the target price of probably the most recent low, which is down here. Risk to reward 1.3. Not ideal with a stock that's so volatile. You can see it's kind of pushing through that anyway. Pushing through this volume profile as the market is going up, I believe. And then Barber traveling towards the lows of the day. And actually, this could have been an interesting one. High of the day all the way up here, 166.33. And then traveling on the lows of the day, hasn't broken them. So what we would do, we would have a look at this and think, oh, okay, it's traveling near the lows of the day. What's the probability of it making a new low? So we jump back into our Edgeworld platform. We go to Barber. We're already on the power hour breakout report, so no need to do that. Selected a weekday, which is a Tuesday. The probability of a new low of day made on a Tuesday in the last 6 months is 23%. Higher than I would like it. I would like to see it around 15%, to be honest with you. I'm on the wrong screen here now. Keep pressing the wrong button. Here we go. So you could, there's a 25% chance it comes down here, and the risk to reward is actually pretty good, especially if you get a bit of a break of this trend line in the next, 5 minutes or so. I'm willing to take that. Yeah, we've got lots of support around here as well, so I'm going to take this. It looks quite interesting. I quite like Barber for a long time as well, actually. I came out of my position about a month ago. Well, that's not a very kind spread. Okay, so I've got the stop loss 155.35. The wrong one. I'm gonna go long. Okay, my stop loss is all the way down here. I don't want it there. I want it here. Oh, that's yesterday's price action. That's why I see saw some strange candles. Is that yesterday's? Hang on, everyone. I'm getting a bit confused. I placed the trade, so that's that. My entry price is 156.58. There. And I want let's say 156 to be a nice round number. Although I think the stats are slightly different here. Yeah, that's that flat. So we are looking around about there. So for me, on this platform that I'm using, FTMO, well, MetaTrader, it looks to be about 155.86. So I'm going to set that in, and then target price, of course, it would be this bout of volume here. You can see we're going into the close here. That's where the volume is. I'd probably take it a little bit higher just because of this price action we can see here. There's a box essentially that I've got of interest where the wicks have gone up to the top of the box, and then of course there's lots of volume as we can see over here in that sort of area. So maybe the price, target price here about 158. Of course, I don't really expect that to go there to, basically before the market closed, but if we can get as close to it, that would be ideal. Actually, not as a big a position as I thought. It's not the end of the world. Does anyone else have this problem? If you go on these kind of trading websites and you put on a trade, you realise actually it's not that big. Was that just me? Or sometimes it's too big. Once I put on a platinum trade. This is actually not that long ago, about 4 months ago. I put on a platinum trade. I was already negative, I don't know, like 300 or something stupid because the position was so big. Obviously, I kept an extremely tight stop loss at the time, just because I wanted to kind of get out of it and kind of move it down. But if anyone has any tips on that, that'd be fantastic. But as far as I can see, you just kind of hit and hope in terms of sizing. We've got a potential break coming here of this trend line, as you can see on the screen. Just to kind of go over it, if you are kind of joining the stream now, which if you are, welcome. I've looked at the actual data here, and it says there's a potential 23.8%, 23.08% of new low being made. Of course, I prefer it to kind of be about 15, 18, but I'm willing to take it. Considering the market itself is obviously very positive, Barber today be very negative. But if we get a push into the close with the market, then there's no reason why Barber can't just kind of follow on with that momentum. Let's get another tab open so we can keep an eye on the SPY. So yeah, SPY continues to push up nicely. Had a nice trade here actually earlier. It's one of those though, I don't know if you ever have this problem. Stick it in the comments if you do, but you set a stop loss obviously when you enter a trade. I think it was around about here-ish on the retest of this trend line. And then you have a target price as well. And unfortunately, I say unfortunately, fortunately it hit my target price, which is fantastic. But if I just let it run, with this price action, then it would have been much more profitable. But that's how it goes. You've got to take your wins when you get them. It's a very volatile market, so you do what you can to make money. And at the end of the day, we're making money. That's all we can ask. Move it across so we get a bit more of a view here. We've got an active trade here on Barber. As I say, it's not a big one because I don't know how to size properly. So if it does get stopped up, it's not the end of the world. I've had a very good day regardless. Let's have a little look around, shall we? We're on the 5-minute chart here. Apple pushing down a bit further, breaking new lows of the day. Oh no, not new lows. New lows of this moment, I guess, but lows were set on the first 5 minutes. What were the previous high and low? Previous day's range. Yeah, so coming back down to maybe previous day's high. So that could be a point of interest for sure. That's that. Amazon pushing down as well, failing. We did speak about this level, didn't we? This resistance level. So that would have been really nice to get into. And just for context here, if we did do that, if we got into the trade around about here, our stop loss would have initially, of course, been at this level because that's the Edgepool data. That's where it lies. Target price somewhere down here would have been nice, 3-to-1 trade, or even just there. That was not too bad either, 1.57. But what I wanted to say is obviously, yes, you have the Edgepool data, which is fantastic, but you also should be using it with your normal kind of complements and stuff like that. So for me personally, I would have brought this stop loss down after this particular move, just because it keeps a little bit more risk adverse, if that makes sense. Google in the middle, Meta broken, Microsoft broken, Nvidia broken, Tesla kind of coming towards the highs, but it's been a bit late now to kind of get into any sort of trade. And Barber is the one that we're in. We're looking for that push towards 158. If we can get that, that would be awesome. So we will watch that. While we are here, I wanted to have a look at the Edgepool platform, as that's what we're talking about here on this session. If you open, see on the left side here, if you open these kind of little arrows here, and you get obviously the full menu, you come up to the watch list. And this isn't a really easy way to kind of get started on any sort of report, any sort of strategy that you want to perform on Edgepool. You can do market open strategies, you can do kind of overnight strategies as well with the gap fill reports. And of course, for me, I use the power hour breakout and sometimes the power hour continuation, just because I'm in the UK. So of course I can't really get to the market in the mornings because I'm at work. But yeah, the watch list is really, really easy. I've got quite a few on here, as you can see on the right side, up and down here. I can just get rid of them by pressing in the bin, although I don't really want to, so I won't be pressing the bin right now. But let's try and add a couple more stocks. And of course, when you be put on the spot like this, you can't really think of any stocks. So let's go for that. Barber, I do have Barber already. Just JD one. JD, so you just basically type in whatever ticker you want and just press plus. And then that adds it to your list. And of course, that'll be down here on the right side as well. So you can just really easily go to power hour breakout report just by touching that and then going to JD. And then you can see automatically the last 6 months data pops up. You probably want to change it to weekday, which is Tuesday. And you can see that there's a 11.5% chance of a new high day being made, and a 19% chance of a new low day being made as well. So it's a very easy way of scooting around using watch lists. You can then go to Google, for example, let that load, and you can see slightly different numbers on Google, of course, 23% and 19% respectively. And again, that carries over with the Tuesdays and it carries over with the 6 months data. You can go back to even year to date, and it gives you more broader data, similar sort of numbers, of course, because they're kind of generally like that. But you do want to keep on top of that, because every now and then, for example, if you go by a weekday and you're on a Wednesday, you've got FOMC that kind of plays into it, and that becomes very volatile, and you probably see that these numbers probably a bit higher, maybe a bit more even, more so in the middle. So just that's something to be aware of as well when you're trading about our breakout report. Let's have a look at the screener again. We're about 79%, I think. So we've dropped down to 67%. I don't know what I was on before. Maybe I was on this one before. Oh, no, I wasn't. Maybe just changed. But yeah, you can see out of my 24 stocks, 16 out of 24 are bullish, which represents 67%. It's a nice way if you've had like a long day and you want to come on here and you want to start trading with Edgefold, then you can see what the overall daily bias is. So sometimes if you see more of a neutral bias, it might just be worth not trading. You know, if you're looking for a bit more of a momentum trade, then perhaps that's not what you want to do, because obviously if it's not moving in either direction, there's no point even trading. For me, it doesn't matter too much because I like a contrarian trade, if that makes sense. So obviously the power hour breakup report, I want it trading near the highs or trading near the lows. And if I see the overall daily bias is bullish, then fantastic, they're trading near the highs. On the other side of that, obviously, if it's trading, you know, more towards the bearish side, then obviously trading towards the lows. And I kind of want to go against that with the strategy I've spoken about in this video and all the other videos as well. Go back to the Barber chart. Looks like it wants to pop up. We've broken the trend line now, which is nice to see. Do we get that little push into the close here? Now you might think, now, do you bring up your stop loss? No, I'm not going to, just because it's not a big position, as we had established earlier, put on the wrong size. And also it's 0.3% loss, which is not the end of the world. It's not okay, not too bad. Excuse me. With a potential 1% win on the cards. But regardless of whatever happens in the next 9 minutes, I will be closing this position. So if it closes above this line, above the entry, then I will obviously profit. If it closes below here, I'll obviously lose a bit of money. The ideal scenario is, of course, it comes somewhere up in this gap and closes there. But I will close the position before market close. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that. Yeah, now we sit and wait. While we do that, I think it's a good time to just remind you to obviously like and follow if you're on X, watching on X, and of course like and subscribe if you are again on YouTube. Appreciate the support. Looking to improve these streams as best as possible, so if you want to leave any comments down below with how I can improve it, then obviously please do. Time of day is a tricky one, I understand. You know, I'm more directed towards the American markets, of course. And it's not exactly the most convenient time. You know, it's 3-4 p.m. in the afternoon there, and even earlier if you're on the West Coast. And I understand that, but of course I have to kind of go to bed and get ready for work at some point tonight, and it's almost 9 p.m. here in the UK. If I could do it at 1 a.m. in the morning, I would, but unfortunately I cannot. Well, I can, but I'll be very tired. I don't really want to do that. Who knows, maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll do a 1 a.m. stream. Probably not going to happen. I like my sleep. Let's have a quick round trip then, shall we? While we're here, I've got this crazy chart. I'm experimenting with indicators. I'm having a look. This is the NVIDIA weekly chart. I don't expect you to understand any of this. I don't even understand any of it. But the cloud is what I look at mostly. Let's get rid of all of it apart from the cloud. I'm starting to love the cloud. It's just a moving average cloud. It's nothing special. But this is the weekly chart. Of course, we're kind of broken out of that wedge a little bit, but there's lots of support here for NVIDIA on the cloud. And we can see it's happened in the past. A few touches here and there. Maybe it can happen again. It's a good week for Tesla. Again, coming to the bottom of the cloud, you can see it happens quite a lot for Tesla. This is the daily chart, and again, it's happened in the last couple of weeks. I actually placed a trade Friday on Tesla, because obviously we were there on Friday, and I thought, bottom of the cloud, second break. We didn't quite break the lows. I thought, okay, there's a bit of strength here. even though there wasn't strength, but there's a bit of strength there, so I took it. It was a risk, don't get me wrong, but I can be quite a risky trader here and there. But what I loved is the price action since then, which is kind of broken out this sort of trend line that we've had. Just like we kind of intraday tested it today, might be pushing out of that in the coming days, which would be nice to see. Lots of volume here on the right though to look out for. Microsoft is in the sand at the moment. Don't really want to look at that. Meta doing well to recover, but still a lot in the way in terms of the cloud. Google was just going nuts. Amazon's been struggling really. I mean, especially after the really good earnings that they had. Obviously, they finished, they closed here, opened all the way up here. I think it was like 10% or something silly like that. And then subsequently kind of dropped off. So maybe a little bit of recovery here, which is quite nice. Apple still just steaming ahead as it does. Yeah, that's been an interesting market the last couple of days, isn't it? Nice candle here from Barber to take us into the close. Looking for that money up there. How long we got? 5 minutes. 4 minutes and 30 seconds until I close this trade. What I'll do is I'll post the trade results on X. If you're not following me, make sure you do. I will post the dollar amount as well, which I don't do that often. Don't really think it really matters, but I will do it for you. Don't worry. Where's the money sign? There it is. Go on. Excuse me. 69 watches. Oh. Child. Let's put that up here for now. Out of the way. It'd be very disappointing if it closes down below this line. What I might do is bring the stop loss to break even. Well, that's a very sad amount. Obviously the position is so small. My platform is it's almost barcoding on the minute chart. This is the minute chart now. On my chart, this section of candles all barcoded to this line. Oh no. But no. That area, they're all barcoded there. Strange. Also a bit delayed. What's going on? MetaTrader, sort yourself out. So we've got a bit of a drop on the S&P as well. Not much. Not much. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, this is the minute chart, so it's more dramatic, but we basically have broken the trend there, I think. Yeah. This be my old strategy was simply just breaks of trend lines, which I still do, obviously, but not on the streams. So you could actually do a break of this to the highs of the day, previous highs of the day before the last hour. Suppose you could bring it up to this sort of area. So if it touches that, that would probably have been my original trading strategy. I don't do it too much anymore, but I have done it before. We're pushing up nicely. We have got 1 minute left. Honestly, you're gonna laugh at how much this trade is gonna get me. Is it literally a £15? I'm not even gonna post this. I mean, I will show you now. I don't know how to. Why does it keep focusing on me? Put me out the way. Well, this is going really well. There you go. If I move it side to side, you can kind of see it. Well, you've seen it now. Not bad. Oh, I didn't sell it. Then, okay, well that's really good. I didn't sell it because I was too busy doing this in front of the bloody camera. So now I'm now holding that overnight. It's a bloody good job. It's not very. It's obviously it's tiny. Best case scenario, it gaps up 10%. Worst case scenario, it gaps down 10%. What a twat! What a twat! Anyway, it's been fun. It's been really fun actually. We took a trade using Edgeful on Alibaba. Closed here. We actually made. Well, I would have made if I did sell it. Instead, I was kind of looking at the screen, trying to show you the trade. But yeah, we'll see how that goes tomorrow then. But yeah, we had a good trade today. Kind of rounding it up a little bit. We had a look at the Edgeful platform here. Power hour breakout report. We'll go to Barber. We saw that the odds of a new low of day are 14.73%. But actually what we did was move it to 6 months data wise, and by weekday it was a bit higher at 23%. But I was happy with that, considering the market was going up. I wanted to kind of go against the curve there with Barber and hopefully get a bit of upside before the market closed, and we got that, as you can see here on the screen. So we entered on the break of the trend line as well, and obviously had a stop loss below the low of day. That's where the data lies. And then the idea before I messed up was to take the profits before the market closed, but because I was too busy showing my phone on the actual camera, we missed the deadline. So I'm now holding that through the evening. So pray for me. It's a very small position, so whatever happens, I'll still have an account, but unless it goes 90% down overnight, which is unlikely. He says. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Make sure you get the Edgeful free trial down below in the description on YouTube, and I think it's attached as a comment as well on the X profile on the X live stream. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day trading. If you're watching this in the post recording, I appreciate you, and I will see you next week. Take care everyone, trade safe.